G'day Gooners and welcome back to another episode of the podcast. As you can see, George is away, he is ill, but I'm joined with a familiar face. Lockie was on the podcast about a month and a half ago. Welcome, Lockie. Welcome to the pod. How are you?
Good to be back. Good to be back. Yeah, I'm great. How are you, Cal?
I'm good. Obviously we got the 2-1 win, but it also does feel a little bit disappointing as well because we didn't play too well. But I guess the 3 points is the most important thing at this stage of the season. Like, I honestly don't I always say I don't care how we get it, but sometimes I do a little bit because you also want to play well as well. But at the end of the day, more optimistic about the future. I know we're going to play better, and I think that this game there was a few problems which we'll get into. But yeah, it was a 3:30 a.m. kickoff, which is just always rough. Probably the worst time. But I was looking at the schedule. We don't really have one until the Man City game, and then I think the next two games are at 6:30 a.m. and then 11:15 p.m. on Saturday, so which is the class time FA Cup kickoff. So that'll be good. But yeah, what did you think of the game overall? Do you think we played a bit shit or 3 points in the bag?
It's a good question. I don't think we played to the best of our ability, of course, but I don't think Chelsea played well either. They
Yep.
didn't really have much from open play. We didn't have much from open play. It was sort of very cagey box to box game, really. Um, and all goals came from corners. We gave them a goal, obviously in Capier, own goal, but yeah, just a little bit of a just a cagey match for me. Bit disappointing, especially coming off that Spurs game. And I'll get
Yeah.
into how I thought Eze played in particular. But yeah, just bit cagey.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we'll get on. We'll definitely get onto it later. I totally agree with you. But I think after the red card, we actually saw Chelsea turn up a bit, and they actually played better than us in the final. What was it? I think 20 to 25 minutes, which was super disappointing considering they were down to 10 men. But we'll get into that later in more depth. But just the lineup going into it, as we saw, Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Zubimendi, Rice, Eze, Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres. So it was really what we expected going into it. Full strength team there. I think in the first 20 or so minutes, we looked okay. Like we looked all right. Obviously not the best, but I really liked the way that we're feeding Gyökeres with those long balls. But it just feels like it's a common theme this season that on those counter attacks where we've got the man advantage where Gyökeres is holding up the ball, our players are running on the wings, giving him options. Gyökeres takes the shot a few times, but then it always seems like whenever we have more players than them when they're defending, we just can't convert the chances for some reason. It was super disappointing, but I thought feeding Gyökeres like that will only do him a world of good for the rest of the season. I think like we saw it in the Tottenham game, like that gave him a lot of confidence. I think it's starting to click now. I know he didn't play particularly too well today, but there was aspects of his game that I really liked today. But onto the first goal, though, we broke the deadlock with a set piece, which has become a very common theme this season. Set piece again, ole ole. But you just take it, don't you? Like, what did you think of
You
that goal?
do. You do. And you can hear it in the commentator's voice. They said it's the 30th goal we've gotten from a
Same.
set piece this season, which is incredible. But if you're going to find a way to score and it works, why not use it? And I'm really happy for Saliba. I believe it's his first goal of the season.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was going to
This
mention that.
one's,
Yeah,
and even better with the assist from Gabriel. So, people say Arsenal are boring and all we do is set pieces, but you have to look into how we've made that work.
yeah,
Why can no other team do it? Why can we do it and no other team can? So you can call Arsenal set piece FC all you want, but you know we're on the top of the table, both UCL, Premier League. We're Carabao Cup final. Like, if you're
yeah.
gonna find a way to win, I don't see a problem with it.
I think it's just a bit of a lose-lose situation for Arsenal fans. Like, to be honest, I don't really care because we're top of the table, as you said, of all the competitions. We're into the whatever Mansfield Town in the next round of the FA Cup. But you see all these other fans, it's a lose-lose situation because if we're playing beautiful football, people don't want us to win, and then they're complaining that like, oh, you're finishing second so many times, you don't know how to win, you can't get over the line. But now when we're actually getting the wins and grinding it out and winning ugly, that's what champions need to do. You need to win even when you're playing like terrible, which we are doing. There have been a few times this season where we haven't, obviously against Man United, dropped points against Brentford and Nottingham Forest, which is going to happen throughout the course of the season. But you're seeing in games like this where in previous seasons we might just capitulate this game, draw, drop points, maybe even lose because Chelsea putting the pressure on at the end there. But we grinded it out in the end and we got the points. So I'm really happy that the team was strong enough to be able to do that. And I'm hoping that we can just keep doing that for the rest of the season, but also playing good football as well. Like we've also seen points of this season where, it's a bit quieter in the mainstream media. Me and George have talked about it countless times in this pod, but there's also been times where away from set pieces, we've had beautiful results. Like last week, 4 goals against Spurs. I know Spurs are absolute shit, but we still scored a lot of goals, 4-1 win. Before that, we beat Leeds 4-0. We beat Sunderland 3-0. And these were beautiful footballing moments that, we got the results in. So, yeah, I think it'll come. We're winning in all different situations, which is exactly what you want. So, I guess at the end of the day, I'm very happy with it. We got the win. So, yeah, moving on from that, though, just before halftime, there was two incidents. Chelsea scored from the corner, but just before that, the Rice handball incident. I'll get your thoughts in a second, but for me, I think it's a penalty. I know you could argue maybe it's the shirt line, but it's half under the shirt line. Now, I don't know exactly what the handball rule says. The commentator was saying it's a handball, but I think the action of him sticking his arm out like that is a handball for me. And what a save by Raya as well, I must add. I thought he was probably man of the match. But for me, I think that's a penalty and we got away with it. But shortly after, we we're punished as, Reece James put it in a beautiful corner and Hincapié fortunately scored the own goal. But what did you think? Do you think that's a penalty or not?
I'm actually the opposite. I don't think that's a penalty. I think if you actually look how they're and a lot of people are complaining, it should be fouls on I believe it was João
I
Pedro
think so, yeah.
with Raya punching the ball out. Everyone's grabbing onto each other. It happened at the other end of the pitch as well in Chelsea's box. Everyone's grabbing each other, and Rice sort of jumps with I can't fully remember who he was grabbing at the time, but he jumps and the other guy's shoulder goes up. So Rice is looking away. He doesn't know he's going to hit the ball. I think it's unintentional, personally.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's a handball, and I honestly think VAR made the right decision there, considering the nature of corners these days. If you're going to give a foul or a handball in the box, right, and it's unintentional, you'll be giving out 15 pens a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Really,
I think
I
that's
just don't.
go on.
I don't think it's I don't think it's a foul at all, and I think it was you know almost commendable that the refs can decipher whether to play on or not. I think they're doing a really good job at the moment. But a lot of people would disagree because it is going in Arsenal's favour.
Yeah.
But
I think that like just corners in general have just become such a big part of the game. You mentioned it perfectly before. It's just like, why can no one else do it? But like they're trying to. You've seen so many teams across the whole Premier League that loading up on long throws, like we saw Brentford do, loading up on corners. Everyone's grabbing each other. It's becoming into a rugby game. Like you can't police it if every single player is grabbing each other. It's almost impossible for the referee to see everything. So there's going to be things that happen. Like again, as you said, if we're going to give a penalty for grabbing, then there's going to be a penalty after every single corner. Like, you know what I mean? And that's just not sustainable. I don't know if that means the rules need to be changed or I don't know what needs to happen, but whatever, we do take it. But yeah, I think this is why I've said it so many times in this podcast before. I just hate the handball rule. I genuinely don't know what the handball rule is anymore. Like, I think that's a penalty. You think that's a penalty. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like, even though I think it's a penalty, I still don't know in the ref's mind, like, why they didn't give it. You know what I mean? Like, it's always contentious. It doesn't make sense for me, but we didn't, I guess Chelsea kind of got the revenge there because they got the goal straight after. So it kind of got brushed under the carpet a bit. It doesn't really matter, but we went into the break at 1-1. I was still confident we're going to win the game because, going into the game, the whole discourse was that Cucurella was missing, Esteval was missing, Levi Colwill was missing as well. They had like no left back. I think they had like their third choice left back. So I was pretty confident, Saka was going to play well. And I think it did help us that they had injuries. And obviously Cole Palmer doesn't look the same player at the moment. He's had his injury struggles as well. So I think I was confident going into the second half. But yeah, what did you think of that second half performance before Chelsea got the red card?
I just want to quickly touch on Nkapie and that own goal. I think he played exceptional.
Yeah,
I would even let that own goal slide. Again, it's another, argy budgy in the box, corner, complete accident. I can put it past him. I think he's like miles better than Calafiore, in my opinion. Miles better. And I think we need to buy him and make him our first choice whenever we can. But going on to the second half, Urian Timber looks like he's playing with an injury. Like he looks sore. He
so
looks
exhausted, man.
tired.
Yeah,
But for him to still score,
yeah.
it says a lot about the quality of players that we have.
Yeah.
Like
I,
when we know his level, we know Urian Timber's level, and he's still scoring when he's well under what he can do.
yeah. Yeah.
But I just really wanted to see Ben White performance today.
Yeah. It's
Really,
such a
really,
shame.
really.
Like just before kickoff, I think he just missed like his fitness test. He was just injured to play. But I think he would have played this game, to be honest. At least I would have wanted him to
Mm.
play because I think I agree with you. Timber just looks exhausted, man. He's playing. I know he had the break and Mosquera came on last week, but besides that, he looks so tired, man. And you know what? Credit to him because in when we first got him in his first game, he tore his ACL. He was out with an ACL injury for his first season, and to come back like that and play 90 minutes every single game, like some players never recover from ACL injury. It's actually just so
Nuts.
impressive, so impressive to come back from that. But yeah, I'm just always worried about Timber because I just don't want anything to happen to him, and I'm hoping that Ben White will be back for the Brighton game. I think he should be because he only just missed out on the Chelsea game. Maybe they're just saving him a few more days, but yeah, it is really disappointing that Ben White hasn't been able to get full fitness this season. It is a shame to see because he's a class player, man. I honestly think that let's in a world where Timber doesn't exist, I think Ben White is the starting could be the starting right back for England. Obviously, Reece James is in that conversation as well, but Reece James has also had his injury problems as well. But he's playing really well. But yeah, on the Hincapie thing as well, I can let that own goal slide, man. It was a complete accident, and I thought he was probably our second or third best player behind David Raya today. So all credit to him. But yeah, we went 2-1 up, looking good. But then it's becoming a bit of a theme this season that I just hate to see is that we let teams back into the game when we have a one goal lead. It's so frustrating. Martinelli gets the ball on the left. He's dribbling down the line. Pedro Neto is trying to recover. Takes him fully out whilst on a yellow. I don't know what he's thinking there. That's always going to be a yellow in the counter attack, stopping Martinelli
What
like that. So go on.
was he already on a yellow?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know that at the time because
Me either.
because Martinelli kept going. He got up, kept going,
Hmm.
and the ref calls it back. I'm like, brother, what? Where's the advantage at? And then he sends him off, and I was like, hang on a sec. I think the first yellow card kind of went under the radar because it was for dissent. I don't think they showed it on the TV coverage. He was talking back to the
Yeah.
referee or something. But yeah, red card, and then after that, I thought we played terrible, man. To be honest, what did you think after that red card?
It's just sloppy. It's really sloppy. And I think, David Raya really sort of like our last lifeline here. I think we're very lucky to have a keeper like that. Um, at this late stage of the Premier League where we're sort of dropping off, and it is a thing. We're not called Bottle FC for no reason. We drop off at the back end of the Premier League, so I think there needs to be a serious mindset shift where the last 30 minutes is where you really have to dig deep.
Yeah,
You have to press your man and just hold your structure. I felt like we were there was no structure. I
yeah,
feel like we're just letting him through. Getting two. It should have been 2-2.
yeah. To be honest,
Realistically, it should have been 2-2.
I think Chelsea got unlucky not to get something out of that game. Like you saw how up for it Chelsea were after the red card. For them not to get something into the game, I think we got really, really lucky. And I think we need to be like that. Like, why are our boys not hyped up to
I
grind out
know.
this win? Like, cool. If you're not going to attack and try and get the third goal, which we didn't look like we are going to score at all near the end there, then you got to be hyped for the defending. It's not the thing that I like to do, grinding it out, like when there's that long left in the game, 20, 25 minutes, especially when they're down to 10 men, I would love to see us just control the ball. Since the red card until the end of the game, we only had 36% possession. And against 10 men, I think that's just not good enough, in my opinion, considering the
It's
quality of
not.
players that we had. We brought on Norgard. We have Rice, Zubimendi. Like we've got all these quality players that are good enough to control the ball in the middle of the park. We've got the best ball playing goalkeeper, Gabriel Saliba, beautiful with passing around the back. I just don't know why we do this, man. Like we let teams back into the game, especially Chelsea as well. The last few times we've played Chelsea, I know we've gotten the win, but my mind always goes back to that 1-1 draw we had with them. It was similar to that, and I was worried they were going to get a goal, but luckily it wasn't to be. Yeah, David Raya today was unbelievable. I think he was man of the match for me. The saves he did after that, in my opinion, Rice handball to just claw it like that. And then the one at the end as well, the João Pedro, I know it was offside, but to just, he's so good at those recovery saves. And he's kept us in a lot of games this season, come up with so many clutch moments. And there was also another one as well where I forget who the player was, but they put in sort of a looping cross and it ended up looking like it was going to go in. Ray at full stretch, stretches out and saves it. Man, he's saved us so many times. I think if we go on to win the Premier League and win big things, he will probably cement his name into one of the best goalkeepers one of the best players in our team, one of the most important players. I think in this game, he probably was our most important player, and he definitely got us the 3 points today. So very, very happy with his performance for sure. But yeah, Donnarumma though, if you're comparing Donnarumma and Raya, I think they're both extremely good, but I'll edge it to Raya because obviously I'm biased, but also because I think Raya's the skill with the ball at his feet is exceptionally better than Donnarumma. In my opinion, I think Donnarumma is really good at saving, penalty saves, claiming crosses and stuff like that, but the ball at his feet can look a little bit shaky, I think, and he flaps at it a little bit. So yeah, that's my opinion. I don't know what you think of that though.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. I think he's world class. Obviously, both are world class keepers. But yeah, it's probably biased. We're probably biased towards
Yeah,
Raya,
of
but
course.
I hope Raya wins a third Golden Glove this season. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope we can get more clean sheets as well because it feels like we haven't really got one in a while, you know. Wish we could just go back to how we were defending against in October last year. Playing so good, man. No goals conceded in October. But what can you do? It's the crunch part of the season. Teams are playing harder, you know. So we just got to grind out these results. And luckily, we got the 3 points in the end, which is all that really matters at the end of the day. That's the main thing for me. We still got the 5 point lead. Obviously, we still have Man City still have a game in hand though, so who knows how they're going to go with that. Just need to keep ticking along. But yeah, we're still top of the prem, so life is still good, I guess. But yeah, we move on to Brighton next. It's a 6:30 a.m. kickoff on Thursday. Brighton, I don't know if you've been keeping up with Brighton too much, but they are probably the most confusing team I think in the Premier League, in my opinion. Like, I'll read out their
I'd have to
form for you,
agree.
but they've had 3 wins in their last five. Their 2 losses came against Aston Villa and Liverpool 3-0. With that one was in the FA Cup. They've got
Fair.
they're sitting at 11th place, 9 wins, 10 draws, 9 losses. So they've got like a perfect balance of inconsistency, really. And the thing about Brighton is they're always the hardest team for me to preview the game because they change players every single year. Their recruitment strategy is probably one of the best in the Premier League, though. They'll buy some random like not 15-year-old, but random teenager from Colombia, fourth division, and then flipping for 200 mil in 3 years' time. Like it's actually insane. Obviously, Caicedo at Chelsea came from there. We got Trossard from there as well. We bought Ben White from there as well. But yeah, I expect us to go into this game with a win. Brighton away can be a tough game, but I'm expecting a win. What do you reckon?
But I agree. I agree. I think Brighton away, some of the players, one player in particular that really sticks out to me. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah, he's so
Matoma
class,
plays for
man.
Brighton.
Yeah,
He's really good. He's really good. And I
yeah,
think he's one of those ones that get overlooked like Zubimendi. I think they're sort of like a shadow player almost.
mm,
So I think we need to just be careful this game. But early lead will I think solidify it for us. 2-0 early lead by halftime. Um, I don't think they'll have the heart to come back. But again, as you said, very unpredictable team. Um,
yeah.
yeah.
I think I just want to quickly check as well because I'm not too sure, but I haven't really heard because I agree with you. Matoma is a class player. There was been a few seasons ago, maybe 1 or 2 seasons ago, where everyone was talking about him. Obviously, he has a degree in dribbling. I don't know if you heard of that, but he went to university. One of his final essays was about like the art of dribbling and stuff like that. So very, very interesting player. But he's always a player that I've admired and wouldn't mind seeing come to Arsenal. I think he's dropped off a little bit, but he's always a dangerous player. I think it was about 22-23 season when I think we were winning. I think it was 3-1 or something at the time, and Matoma just absolutely turned up, man, and he caused so many problems. I remember, I'm pretty sure they scored an offside goal, which would have made us drew the game. But he's always a very, very dangerous player, and every time you come up, Arsenal come up against one of those tricky wingers, I'm always, a little bit of doubt. But yeah, as I said before, I am expecting a win still. I think my prediction would be a 3-1 win. Uh, did you say yours would be 2-0? Is that what you said?
I think 2-0 at halftime would be ideal, but I'm
Yeah.
looking at 3-0.
Okay, 3-1. I'll go 3-1, you go 3-0. But again, we can't get too cocky in games like this. I hope the boys are switched on because, Brighton is a respectable team. Like they have caused some Arsenal some upsets in the past. They're almost a bit of a bogey team for us. Like I remember we lost 3-0 to them and we were at home. So that's what I mean. They're a very unpredictable team. Hoping we can get the win though. And yeah, just kick on. But what would your should we get into the lineups? Do you want to hear my lineup? Because
Yeah, I would
I got
love
a
to
couple
hear
changes.
that.
I got a couple changes because I think we should rotate in this game. Obviously we've got Mansfield on Saturday, which maybe you could say make a case for we should rotate there and keep the boys strong for this one. But I do still want to see some change in this game as well. So I'm gonna Raya, of course, man of the match, keeps his place. Premier League, obviously. Right back, I'm gonna bring Mosquera in because I think Timber does need a break. If we can give him a break against Brighton and Mansfield Town, I think that'll be a whole week without him playing a game, which I think will do really well for him. So I'm going to play Mosquera there. Centre backs, I'm still going to go for Saliba and Gabriel just because there's not many options at this time. Calafiori is still injured. I'm going to rest Timber as well. So yeah, Ben White is still probably injured as well. Maybe we'll have to see how that goes. If Ben White is fit, I wouldn't mind him coming in for Saliba. If not, then I'll rest him until the Mansfield game. Left back, I'm going to keep Hincapié there. I think he's been one of our best players as of recent weeks. I want to see him just continue developing that spot. And yeah, in the six, this is another one. I know Zubimendi has been very good, but he looked a little bit distracted in the game against Brighton. There was that one pass back that he did. It just seems like he's a bit. I don't know what's going on with him. I think he's just played way too many minutes. So I'm going to give him a rest as well. I know it's Arteta is not going to do that. He's going to play Zubimendi. He loves him. I think it's because he's Spanish. I don't know, some bias, but I'm going to bring in Norgard for me personally. I think he's good enough to play in this sort of game, and also probably play him in the Mansfield Town game as well. Just ahead of them, I want to see. Thing is, we don't know if Odegaard's going to be back, but I want to see obviously Declan Rice, and then in the 10, this is where it gets a bit tricky. Like, do we keep going with Eze? You mentioned before. What did you think of the Eze performance against Chelsea? I want to hear that.
I think he's too inconsistent. You can't go from scoring two against Spurs to looking like you don't belong on the pitch. I honestly didn't want him there today. If we could have Kai Havertz there instead of him um, against Chelsea, I would have much preferred it. Especially Kai Havertz's track record
Yeah.
recently against Chelsea would have been great to see him there. But I think I'll get into my lineup next, but I just don't think he played very well against Chelsea.
No, for sure. He is a bit of a, you know, inconsistent player. I think that just is the player he like he is like if he doesn't have confidence, he's not going to play as good, which is super unfortunate, but it is easy to say in hindsight that Havertz should have played because like you're not going to drop a player that just scored 2 goals against Spurs, you know what I mean? But for me, I am going to bring Kai Havertz into this game. He's had a little bit of a break. He did play a few minutes, I think 15 or 20 minutes against Chelsea, so bring him in for this game in the 10. Off the right, I'm going to keep Saka there, of course. Up front, Gyökeres, ex-Brighton player. I don't know if you knew that, but he had a short spell there. And then off the
With Ben
left,
White.
yeah, and off the left, again, I'm gonna go Trossard, and then I'll probably play Martinelli in the Mansfield game, another ex-Brighton player. So, yeah, that's my lineup. 3-1 win for me. What do you reckon?
Yeah, so very, very similar on my end. Obviously, David Raya in goal, Gabriel Saliba, centre backs. I want Nkapie on the left. like you said. And if he's fit, I want Ben White on the right.
Yeah. Fair.
It's that simple. Um, Now for that CDM, I think I want to drop Declan Rice back into that position,
Yep.
that
Fair.
CDM position. I
Yep.
think that number 6, I want to see Declan Rice play. And in the middle, I know I said he didn't play well, Eze, but I think he deserves one more game to prove
Yep.
himself.
Fair.
I think maybe he got a bit complacent against Chelsea, so I'd put him um, in the midfield paired with Kai Havertz. I want
Yeah.
both of them
I'd like to
sitting.
see that combination as well because I've been talking about it this
Mm,
season. The combination between Eze and Odegaard playing as sort of advanced eights, and I think that'll be so good to see. But we haven't seen it much because every time we've just about to seen it, like we saw it in the Wigan game, like one of them, not one of them, but Odegaard just gets injured, man, and then or Kai Havertz is out, and we never really get to see it. So you know what? I'd actually love to see it. I'm not against that at all.
yeah, so they're the two I'd like to play there. Um, I don't think Trossard played that well against Chelsea
No,
as
he
well. He's
didn't.
not.
Yeah,
I would start Martinelli, to be honest. I thought especially after that tackle that got Neto sent off. He was so passionate to get back up
yeah, yeah.
and score. I think he's got that passion, so
Love
that we
passion.
need, especially. Um, so I would play Martinelli off the get go. I'd play Bukayo Saka on the right, obviously, and in the middle, Gyökeres. This Gyökeres hate has to stop now. It has to stop. I don't think it's
I
deserved.
think it's calmed down a little bit since the Spurs game.
It
To be honest,
has,
yeah,
especially since the stats have come out. He's on
yeah,
similar goals to Hugo Ekitike, who
yeah,
was what $40 million worth more,
yeah. Everyone
40
glazes
million
him as
pounds
well, man.
more.
I think Gyökeres. Look. He's not. Look. Let's be real for a sec. Like he's not the best player. Like you can see some flaws in his
But
game, but he's getting the goals, man. Like that's the
he's
thing.
getting the
That's
service now. That's the
exactly. We're
difference,
actually
right?
feeding him, bro. Like he will just get better as well. Like it does take time to adapt. You gotta remember this is his first season in the Prem. Like give him a bit of time, and I think we're seeing it finally click. And I think he can kick on for the rest of the season. So not against that at all. But yeah, expecting a win, and then expecting another win in the Mansfield Town game in the FA Cup. Good time to be an Arsenal fan right now. Seems like a lot of people are rattled and about the VAR decision and stuff, but obviously we can't control that, so I don't know why they're pissed, but they might be pissed because we're at the top of the table. Who knows? Who cares? London is red. North London is red. Australia is red as well. I love to say that. Shout out to all the
Yep.
Aussie Arsenal fans all around Australia. But yeah, I think that's all we have time for this episode. Thank you so much, Lockie, for joining me and spitting
No worries.
absolute ball knowledge. It's always good to have you on the pod, and we'll get you on the pod in the future as well. Maybe you can join me and George as well as a special guest. We want to
Hopefully.
do that as well in the future. We want to have like guests come on for little 5 minute segments to talk about something that they're super passionate about. So I'll get in contact with you about that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day, Gunners. Lockie, you got anything else?
No, enjoy Gooners, and I'm looking forward to Brighton. See you then.